now you're gonna have to get like different monitors. No, I'm joking.
Gotcha. Right. Okay, cool. We on live. Here we go. All right, y'all. What's good? This is Joe and co-host DeAndre.
What's good? What's good?
Yes, yes, yes. And hope that you guys are tuning in. Let's see. Hold on one second. All right, y'all. What's good?
Let me
This is Joe and
yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I gotta pop.
Good. Okay. So let's see. All right. Already got a like. Very nice. Cool.
We liked it already.
We ain't saying nothing yet. But thank
sometimes
you
when you start, you gotta wait for people to fall in, like
right. Also, if you want to do a thing on the Facebook, man, that we're live now. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm out. Drop it.
Cool. Yeah, guys, it was good. So, I guess we'll just start with updates on how we've been during the past week.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hot. It is.
If you're not in Japan, I hope that it's not as hot as it is here where you are, because it has reached 100 already, and it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, about 39, 40 degrees Celsius. Man, it's hot. Woo. So, yes, D, how you been, man?
Oh man, pretty good, man. This is terrible now, man. This is like ridiculous with all of this stuff right here. It is hot and it is muggy. Oh, there you go. Marlon. Yes, it is hot here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
How hot is it? How hot is it?
Yeah, so what's it called? No, I went out with one of my friends today, and man, we went outside for like the first 5 minutes, and we just got like drenched in sweat, and it was just ridiculous. So, because we were in Nagoya, and we went to Osakana, which was cool. Luckily, Osakana has one of these halls where the whole place is air conditioned, like surprisingly, because it's still kind of outdoors, and that was cool. We went to where did we go? We went to a pizza shop inside Osakana, and that was nice. Then we went to some dessert shop, and that was cool. I'll put some pictures on Facebook later. But that was good. I think right now, actually, I'm working on a Living in Japan series for YouTube. First video right now is going to be about my personal life as an ALT and as a just living in in Okazaki, like my life and my experience living in a small city. Because many people on YouTube, they talk about the big city, Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, all that stuff. But I'm going into a small city and what life is like. How taxes are based on your salary, where you can live, and how good you can live in a nice apartment by living in the countryside. So yeah, I'm getting that done now. But let's get to these. There's any comments? It would be her first.
Very humid. So it is 35 degrees.
I think she said she was in Shanghai. Mary Lou, how you doing? Yeah. Shanghai gets hot, man. I was there 3 years ago in summertime. It's humid in Shanghai, man. It's humid.
It's like real humid.
Yeah, man. Cause Shanghai is near the ocean, so they're humid, man. Yeah.
Like it is super humid. Like so. Yeah. So Mary Lou, how do you? She's in. Suzhou.
Oh no. Suzhou. Yeah, Suzhou. Yeah.
What is up? Chaotic Storm 911. How are you doing? And where are we checking in from? And where are you checking in from, Chaotic Storm? Please hit the like as you come in, to your left as you enter into the room.
That would do us much great appreciation.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Before we start, we want to get more people in here. So, Portland, Oregon, is it warm up there in Portland?
Oregon. Oh man, okay.
Oregon, that's pretty great. Portland, Oregon. What time is it? What time is it? Is it like what, 4 in the morning or 3? Okay. Mary Lou says she'll be heading to Trinidad and Tobago next week on next Monday. Trinidad and Tobago next week. All right. So, man, it's probably hotter there than here, but it probably got that good breeze going through. It probably nice, you know. Are you gonna be by the beaches? You gonna get soak up some sun? Hey, what's going on? Salute to the nation.
This is I'm sorry, I'm gonna mess up your name. I know I am, but thank you for coming in. Nequal Love. Oh, Nick. Yeah. Okay. Nequal Love. Good morning from Georgia. Georgia.
Okay. Thanks for coming through. Thank you. Hit that like as you come through. Thank you. Show some love. Salute the nation.
Yeah.
The might of the Black Order coming through.
Okay.
I am okay.
Good, hey,
Nikki. Better just say Nikki.
What's good?
So, chaotic storm in Portland. So, what is the temperature there? How is it? Hot, muggy, or is it like nice and cool?
115 degrees Celsius. No.
You probably got it good up there. You probably got it good up there.
Oh man, let's see.
I got it good up there. I think. Okay, screen. All right, so if y'all got any questions, ask away. 70 degrees. Oh man, you got it good. It's 70 degrees out there.
Oh, you good. Oh my gosh. Sounds like heaven right now.
Yeah, you're good. You're Gucci.
I'm serious, man. It feels like today, it feels like God is pissed off today, man. I'm serious, man.
Look, I went outside to take out the trash at like 8 in the morning, and it felt like the devil was out there with a snow cone. He's walking. What's up, man? Hot, ain't it? Hey, y'all gotta check out Joe's video of the watermelon thing, man. That thing was nice, man. I was like,
man, that was so good. Okay, y'all, it's so basically in Okazaki, they just opened up this new like hole in the wall kind of shop like this. It's called kakigori, and kakigori in Japanese just means like shaved ice. But they got all these flavors. They got watermelon, peach, mango, melon, strawberry. I think they got blueberry now recently, and it's a very new shop. I think they opened like 3 weeks ago, something like that, like very recently. And we went there, and we just got the watermelon because it's good. And man, that was delicious. It was awesome. So check that out. I'm trying to go back there. And D, when you come over here, I'm gonna try. No, because it's near a Meitetsu train station, so we can go there by trains. It's a really simple. So once you come over to this side of town, I'm gonna take you and you and Emma out there. Yeah. So and we're gonna have a good time because that place is legit, man. So I think the watermelon one was like 1,500, so it's a little pricey, but man, it's good. It's good.
So this is, let's see. All right, so Chaotic Storm asks, your question is from an economic standpoint, what's more better, Japan or China, like making money and businesses?
Okay.
Joel he's been in between both, so I can only speak from a Japan perspective. So this question is better for Joel to answer, and I'll just weigh in.
Okay. For business, now I have never set up a business in China, but what my friends have done, because I do have many friends who have set it up, it is difficult. I would say much more difficult than in Japan, because business in China is known to be very, very shady. And I can't speak on all the facts because I just don't know all of them because I haven't been inside the business world. But there is a lot of, I mean, just the whole government of China is very shady. It's very, there's a lot of corruption. And when it comes to business, you do need, as a foreigner, you know, a Chinese like co-signer or a Chinese person's name on top of your business. It cannot be your name because the Chinese person has to kind of technically own it. So basically what a lot of people do, if they marry someone, they will have their wife or husband's name on top of it so that they know they can trust them. Because what I've heard in the past is that many people will go with a Chinese friend that they think they can trust, and many times that Chinese person may or may not, I'm not sure, depending on the person, screw them over, and then the company will actually end up going under a Chinese, you know, influence. So it just depends on your connections, your networking, how well you can trust the people that are there. And that's honestly my extent to starting a business in China. I've heard it's super hard, and honestly, most foreign businesses in China don't go too long if it's like solo. Foreign businesses are really just like the big companies that have like a lot of power. So if it's like a local like t-shirt business or like a local like food shop or something, you know, you gotta be very careful on who you know and who you meet and who you decide to link up with to start this business to start this business with. Because you know it could end up being their business later on just due to the corruption that goes on in China. The extent of the corruption that happens, I'm not really sure, but it does happen a lot, and I've had friends who have lost businesses due to this, or who have just quit just altogether because it's just too much to handle. So, D, I think you can speak more on Japan since you are more in the business world. I can speak of my entrepreneurship here through this school that we set up here. And that's strictly through just networking, and compared to China, it's super simple. And it's not a big business, so I don't have to go through all the bureaucracy that goes on with a big business. So, but maybe D, as a true, I would say freelancer, what is your experience here as a business person?
Japan, standpoint, I would say this: if you're trying to do business, coming into Japan, I would say this: whatever country you're in, make sure if you're trying to start that business, do the paperwork there, because it really is kind of expensive and tedious for a foreigner to start a business in Japan, LLC wise. So what you would want to do is get your LLC in your country or home of record. Most countries, you know, LLCs are low as $250, maybe, I think, depending on the country, and you might have to pay maybe $600-700, depends. And then you partner up with a Japanese company, and then it works out both ways because that company gets tax breaks because they're doing international business. And then, you know what I mean? And then it works out for you so that you're more respected because you do have an LLC, you do have a business. And that's where it really comes into play, because at the end of the day, Asia is really homogeneous. And if you're not Japanese or Chinese, you can't really hold a business in that country per se, brick and mortar, to the point where the business is on the corner. Because even the McDonald's and the, you know, like McDonald's and Coca-Cola and these American or these foreign brands, they're actually franchise leased out here. So the McDonald's is leased to Japan, and Japan has it for so many years, and they pay the money for it, some company, and then it's owned by Japanese ownership. That's why they're allowed to have stuff like shrimp burgers and not have quarter pounders and all this other stuff that they do. So they had like a egg McFlurry. Like I saw that. It's like pudding or something. I didn't need it. My son ate it. I was like, I'll let him try it. That works out. But but even still with that, doing business it's all about reputation at the end of the day. So you gotta be here. You gotta put the work in. You have to put the work in, and you have to build relationships with people before you even think about even just going in and do business unless your business is already established. And even if it's already established, you got to get them on board to do your business. Now, Japanese are more honorable when it comes to not just taking your ideas without compensation. And I've heard things in China where they'll hear you out, they'll see your product, and like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, like 6 months later, they've made a knockoff of your product already. It's already on.
Oh yeah. A lot of knockoffs in China, big time, and people hate that. Example.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, his whole brand, I think it's I mean, just Nike Jordan. And China made a knockoff called Jordan or some very similar name to it, but like the Chinese version. And Michael Jordan tried to sue the Chinese company for doing that, but China didn't really let it go through because he said because their reasoning was, okay, they use a different logo, which is basically Michael Jordan's pose, but in a different pose than Jordan's is now. They use technically a different logo. Technically, it is in Chinese, and that's not the original font or the actual name of Jordan. So China let that slide, which means Michael Jordan can't get any of that money that China really is taking from his original brand. But I mean, like for China, this is a knockoff for almost every big company that America has. And like a lot of American companies hate that, but at the same time, because the countries need each other, they're like America's not going to stop, doing business in China or going to really stop them from doing knockoffs, because at the end of the day, that's one of the perks for China for being so close to America. They get to get away with this, even though it's not right, So, but yeah, that's the way it is. It's unfair. But hey, I mean, business itself is really unfair, and that's what
exactly. So, anyone have any more questions? Please don't hesitate to ask. Please also hit the like button as you enter in. Thank you for your support also and watching us. And we want to basically give you guys this open, dialogue so we can answer your questions. No problem. Anytime. If you got any more questions, go ahead and ask. We opened this up in the beginning of the stream to answer any questions that you guys have and stuff like that before we start touching on the topic of what we were asked at the end of any streams that we do. Yeah. So any questions? I know Mary Lou's got some questions.
Cool. I will start with this. So I'll tell you guys one story about my time in China. My first year, I was 22 years old, so straight out of college. And a lot of people ask me why I went straight to China out of college. It was strictly because of this. When I graduated college, I had gotten straight A's, maybe like a couple B's, right? So I had like a 3.78 GPA. And in college, they always say get a good GPA, you can get a good job, and if you get more knowledge in college, you can do this and that. But when I asked my advisor, when, because I studied like video work in college, I asked him, would I be able to get like an internship in like Hollywood or just someplace big? Because I do have the grades, I do have the knowledge and the ability to do some of this stuff. And he said, yeah, but you would have to get an internship locally first. I said, all right, cool. Where can I do that? He said, well, you have to wait about another 18 months before you can get an internship. So I got to wait 18 months after I graduate to get an unpaid internship for another possibly unpaid internship, and then to get a job that's like $20,000 to $30,000 a year later on. I said, no. So that's when I realized that companies don't give a damn about your grades. Like in college, they only care about your skill and who you know. That's it. So after that, like my grades kind of dropped and I stopped caring. So
stop caring, like, oh, come on.
So like I stopped caring. But that's when because I was taking Chinese in college. So like I had all my Chinese friends there. And my Chinese score was always A+ top of the class, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put all my focus into learning Chinese and the culture before I go. that's what I did. So even though I slacked off the last semester, I still ended up with like a 3.5 GPA. Which really doesn't mean anything right now. But yeah, so I went straight to China, and I told my parents I'm going to China, and they're like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to China." Like, they said, "Why?" "To teach." And they said, "Well, can't you teach here?" I said, "No, no." But yes, so I went to China, and one of my first experiences with Chinese people were they are completely different people from the rest of the world. And what I mean by this is that when you go to China, you'll see off the bat there are a lot of mindsets that are kind of different and kind of even backwards from like the rest of the world, because the Chinese government has the whole internet cut off. Like any like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anything that you can get that is either like American or just foreign made as a website is cut off, because one, they don't want information getting into China. Two, they want to provide a competitive, I guess, ability for their own products to succeed in China. So they have their own version of YouTube, their own version of Facebook, their own version of Twitter. Their version of Twitter is actually kind of cool. Not really, but it's kind of cool. It's called Weibo. Yeah. So I mean, it's actually pretty good. But the YouTube and Facebook, they're not good at all. Like nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. But I will say their line equivalent, which is called WeChat, is pretty good. I do like that. But yeah, that's the reason why they don't have the internet for foreign websites. And yeah, because in 2014, when those Hong Kong, the umbrella movement, the umbrella protest were happening because Beijing was trying to get into Hong Kong too much. A lot of the mainland people didn't even know about that. And Hong Kong is literally part of the same country. It's not like Taiwan, where Taiwan is kind of considered a country. It's part of China. So, you know, and the mainland people didn't even know about it. Some did, but like many did not. And that was surprising. So, and that's how strong like the control is of China, man. So, that's how strong it is, and that's kind of one of the things why I hope people can get out and travel, because you'll get to see how good your country really is, and even like the amount of problems your country has when you get to look at it from the outside, from a true like objective point of view. Because like I was talking to one friend recently about, you know, he's always saying like, when has America ever been great? And I say, if you go to other countries, you'll see why America's a pretty good country to be in. So like, but you know, I also get where they're coming from too, because if you're in America your whole life, that's all you really see. And there are a lot of problems there, but like traveling really opens your mind, just to not seeing how good or bad your country is in your opinion, but also just to see like how other people view your country, and just, you know, for you to open your mind to enjoy other people's cultures as well. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of good experiences. Now, my funny experience in China was that they're so cut off, especially in the third world cities, that I had a friend who was white, and he was from South Africa though. So we went to the Chinese dude, and he's like, "Oh, so you from America and you're from Africa?" I said, "Nope, switch it around." He got mind blown, man. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Like,
and at first we kind of took offense to it, but then we had to realize that they don't have the internet here. Like they don't have any access to the outside world, so we have to put that into perspective, you know. So, it was still kind of funny though. It was good. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna read this. Pat Anderson said, "Hi, Joe." Pat Anderson said, "Hi, Joe."
Pat. Hey, what's good, Pat?
All right, and Chaotic Storm. Okay, so this is a question, similar question about how about everyday living in Japan? Can your Akawa job afford a decent lifestyle in Tokyo like can you save money after all the bills and etc. Joe's more a test for this when it comes to if you're asking about a teaching job. I've never taught, so I'll leave this up to Joe in his corner.
I cannot answer your part about Tokyo. I have never lived in Tokyo. However, let me go on my experience here as an ALT teacher, and me saving money, and then maybe I can put it into a perspective of Tokyo, maybe. And this is actually really good because this is my first video on my channel about living in Japan that I'm going to do solo. So be looking out for that. Hopefully within the next week if I can get this all filmed out. So I live in Okazaki. This is a I guess second tier city. It's a city, but it's considered more countryside compared to Tokyo, compared to Osaka. So, but it is a city. And if you're on the main, if you're a main stop on a railway, then I guess you're considered a city. And Okazaki is one of those. So, let's see. To start, I work as an AOT for Gamagori City, which is a city nearby. But I work as I work for the city of Gamagori, not for a company. So, and that's called Board of Education job. So when you get the Board of Education, you get a lot more perks and everything than a regular dispatch company. And the pay is a bit better too. But if you're working for a regular dispatch company, your salary will be between, I would say, $220 per month and $250 per month average. I would say even as high as $270. And that's about, in dollars, roughly $1,900 to about $2,500 a month. So can you save money? It depends on where you live. In Okazaki, yes, you can, if you spend your money right. When I was working last year as an AOT for a dispatch company, I was, I want to round it off to maybe 250-ish. I don't want to give the exact amount, but round about that area. You know, I was able to save about $300 to $400 a month ish. Now that is me cooking at home. When it comes to food, that is me cooking at home. That is me not always going out to party. That's me just working and saving money because I love to travel. So, and I want to buy some new camera equipment. So I was able to save about $300 to $400 a month ish. My food, I try not to go over $200 a month, so about 20,000 yen a month. Taxes for Okazaki were about, Okazaki city tax, about $195 a month-ish. So 19,000 about-ish. And utilities altogether, it depends. Summer and winter are going to be higher just because of the heater and AC. So summer heater, summertime and wintertime, the electricity was about $60 a month, about 6,000 yen. Water, it doesn't raise over about 3,000 a month. And let's see, lights, water, gas is about, I would say 4 because I like to cook, 40,000. This is what I think about right now. So, yeah, but yeah, like I could save about $400 a month. That's also including me going to Nagoya about maybe once a week, so about 4 times a month, and just hanging out. So, yeah, I mean, you can save money based on how you live. In Tokyo, though,
that ain't happening.
Huh?
That ain't happening.
No, and that's what I mean. Oh, and also rent here. Rent. This apartment that I have now, you cannot get this kind of price in Tokyo. I'm letting you know right now, this is a second-tier city. It's cheaper, and it's near a train station. You cannot get a near train station apartment in Tokyo for this price. This is a mini mansion, and about, I would say, 70-ish around that area. So it's about $700 a month-ish. You can't get that price for a mini mansion near a train station in Tokyo. Don't even think about it. But in Tokyo, I can't even, like this place in Tokyo would be minimum $1,300 to $1,400 a month near a train station, if you're lucky. on a salary of 2,500 a month. Say 25,000 a month. No, 250,000. I'm sorry. You might be able to save $100 or $200 a month if you're living right. But if you want to go out, I would just say just spend your money wisely. I would, yo, you want like 300 and more, you know. Yeah. So, but
I would tell you this, that most in Tokyo, like in Tokyo, you're not going to be able to survive off of one. Like, if you want to live a comfortable life in Tokyo, depending on your schedule as an English teacher, maybe if you're going to stay in Japan more than 2 years, like, because your contract comes due, like your visa comes up maybe once every year. I think they start doing 2-year contracts now, depending on what program you're in. But after the first year, you'll get a hang of everything. But the second year, most English teachers, they get a secondary job. They'll teach conversational English or whatever. And that money is just basically used for saving or for them to go travel or go out or something like that. But right. Tokyo, cost of living in Tokyo was very expensive. I live like 45 minutes away from Tokyo, and it's rather kind of expensive. But you know, it's not like, you know, how much I pay for my house and everything like that. I'm not even going to explain. Like, I have a family, and I would just say, I'm gonna just tell you like this: my bills alone per month is about $1,500 to $2,000.
Okay, wow, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's I live in a big house. So it's 100,000 yen for the for my house, and it's about 800 to 100,000 yen a month for the lights, water, gas, internet, and phone bills, and I'm also counting in groceries and any amenities that come into play with that. So,
I'm also a single guy. So my prices I'm listing out are based on a single guy perspective.
Yeah, single. Yeah, so I'm talking about family. So that's a whole different
right.
So here's let's go down these lists and stuff like this. All right, so we answered your question. Sorry about that.
I see Mary Lou real quick on the China thing.
Yeah. Wabit. Yeah, we got Wabit Zing. I don't know how to say your name. How do you compare the racism in Japan and China to America? And then we got to hit on Mary Lou's subject over here. And then we got Pat Anderson. He's got a whole bunch of questions too.
Okay.
All right. So Joe can answer the thing about China. Like, I've been to China. I've visited China. For me being there, it was more stereotypical. They thought, you know, when we were there, we were some type of rappers or some type of weird, you know, something like that. But it wasn't no racism as in nothing, because we was mainland China, and then it was mainly Hong Kong and Macau. They're more international, so it wasn't really, I didn't see anything. Racism in Japan on my end, you don't really, it's not racism, it's prejudice, because you don't account for, like, you're not even the 5% of the population in the country. Like, Japan has a bad problem with not having enough foreigners for you to even have a problem. So you can't call it racism; it's prejudice. So that's the other thing. That's what people don't realize, is that like racism is like the United States, where you're born in that country, you are a citizen, and then they treat you a certain way. If you are an immigrant coming to a country and you're less than the 10%, they can't be racist, because it's homogeneous. They are the major majority, so it's prejudice. The system is set up for them to succeed. You're just a visitor. So there's no race. If you go on the point of racism, there really isn't any in a defiant thing. Actually, more Chinese and Koreans deal with racism more than you would, like in Japan. Far as that, with the hate speech and stuff like that, they don't do it against other ethnicities and stuff, because we're not on the blotter. You know,
that history, like China and Japan have that history, so there's going to be a ton of racism in there.
Yeah, so that's from my perspective on my end. You and that's why I says more prejudice than anything. You can, and Joel can jump in on that.
Okay. Well, my experience in China, it's okay for me personally. I had a wonderful time. China was amazing for me, and I'm speaking on that just on my experience because, and I'm talking about mainland China. I'm talking about third world city China. I'm talking about outside Shanghai, Beijing, all the big cities that you guys know of. I've been to cities that people have never heard of, and like there, I've been treated fabulously well. And I want to hit Mary Lou real quick. She said she can't stand the stairs, and the photos. Now here's my thing. Like I'm very like kind of goofy, so I'm always like up for the photos and up for like the popularity and all that stuff. So that's just me. I'm very kind of goofy with that. But I do understand where you're coming from because it can be a bit hectic. Like my first day in China, like I got like this one girl coming up, hey, why go ran? So why go ran means foreigner in Chinese. So, and she just like out of nowhere, just like selfie, boom, and just like ran away. I'm like, what the hell?
Right?
So like now, to me, I'm speaking from a 22-year-old straight out of college, so it's like I'm just new to the world at this point. So everything is just like wow, you know. So
yeah.
But even now, I think I'd be okay with it. I feel like it would be more annoying now because I'm older. But also, and I'm a guy too, so it's like it's just okay, whatever, go. I'm not sure how it is for a woman, and if Mary Lou, you can speak on that, go ahead. But yeah, like it was cool. Like I had amazing. I met some great people, learned a lot of life experiences, and when it comes to dating too, like I had no problem with that. Even as a black dude, I had no problem. But the thing that helped me out with dating, because I do get a lot of questions from black dudes on this, is that I was the head of an English like organization in China. One thing women love is a guy who takes charge of something. So there were a lot of women there, and I was able to take charge, and I was able to talk to a lot of people, guys and girls. So, and like when you're the leader of something, you get a lot of attention from everyone, So, and when you lead it well, that's when you get really what you're looking for, whether it's dating or whether it's promotion or something, So, so yeah, but also it's good personality, not blaming anyone for your problems, and it's just like trying to help people out. When you're at a certain position, like it's not about keeping people down or thinking you're on top, even though you are. It's about going back down and bringing people back up. That's how you get more popularity, and that's how you get more people to like you. So that's what helped me out in China. Now, when it comes to straight racism, I never really felt any kind of racism. Also because I just met a lot of the people and I networked and I, just went out. My face was in public, so that also kept me from doing dumb stuff, So, but like, yeah, I never felt any kind of real prejudice in China. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does. I'm just saying, like, I think because I was so busy and I had my tight group of friends who always like kind of also like defended me too, like I had a good time. And that's one thing about wherever you are, China, Japan, wherever, get you some good people, whether they're foreigner or Japanese or Chinese, who can actually have your back. Like, and it takes time to get those people because the people I had who did that for me, it took 6 months before I can view them as a true friend. So, because friendships take time. You can't just meet someone and say we're friends. It doesn't happen that way. So it took time for us to trust each other, and it took time for us to actually go through some problems and actually like get to know each other and care about each other. So that's what made my time in China really, really good, and also the ability to listen to advice. Listen to people who are older than you, who have been there longer, because in China, just as Japan, it's very easy to get jaded very quickly. So get with people who have been there for a long time, who love the country, who love living there, and they can tell you how they ended up loving living there. And if it works for you, take their advice. If it doesn't, be thankful that they gave it to you because they are good people, And that's honestly all I can say. I had a wonderful time. I think the only thing that was really bad was that I was in a city near Beijing called Taiyuan, and it is a cold city. And and in the winter it was horrible, like just like smoke everywhere, and like those pictures that you see in Beijing, where like it's like brownish gray, as dust in the air. That stuff is true. And because I would see like dirt from the sky on plants and just like wiping it off and seeing it on my hand, it's just ridiculous. But even through all that, I had a great time, because one thing my old boss taught me was that no matter where you go, no matter what country or city that you decide to live in, you will never fall in love with the city. The only reason you stay there is because of the people. You fall in love with the people, which in turn makes you fall in love with the city. So if the people are not good, no matter how good the city is, you will leave. That's one piece of advice that I always took to heart and that I live by to this day, is that even if you're in the most third world city, if the people there are cool, that care about you, and you can always have a good time with them, no matter how old or young they are, like, you will stay in that city because you love those people. That's one thing that I learned in China, and that's one thing I stick with to this day. So, but yeah, that's China. I guess Japan. I mean, I haven't really felt any racism here. No, I mean, not really. I mean, to me, I'm sure there is racism, maybe a little bit, but prejudice, I haven't felt any. I felt like if you're like a half fool, you feel a lot more than we could ever feel.
Yeah.
Like if you're half Japanese, you would feel it more because you're of the blood, but Japanese people won't see you as Japanese. And that's what hurts more. It's like being black and like not fully looking black, and then black people not accepting you even though you are like black, you know? So and that's more of just like, you know, association through blood, you know, just because you are those people literally, but they won't accept you. And that sucks more, because we as foreigners, we can kind of cut it off because we have no connection to Japanese people whatsoever, no connection to the culture or anything. So when they do something that makes us feel uncomfortable, we will bring it up, but at the end of the day, we can always cut it off. Like, if you're a Hapu, you are a part of these people. Like, so like it hurts more because you are them, you know. So, but yeah, like whatever you go through, it will never be as bad as a Hapu or someone who is either Asian, you know. So,
let me see. Okay. I got this research. You know, White, aka Jero. My question is: his music only grandma music, or over 75 years of older, or young people listen to his music? I'm glad you put some MJ on the wall. You put MJ on the wall. I spilled my coffee. All right. So Pat Anderson. I actually know his brother. I actually know Jero's brother. He works on the bass. Jero actually just went into retirement. He quit singing, and he's an Inca singer. So his mom, he's actually half. He's what they consider a half. He just looks more black than anything. So he's half American and Japanese. So his mom's Japanese, so he could really sing, and he had him singing. He's singing it, and only people that are like older listen to Inca singing. Like there's like they have a contest on they have that karaoke contest on a major television station on Fuji Television, and that's actually how he actually got discovered, because he went and did the contest. And he scored so high for the prize, and they gave him a record deal, and you know. It was kind of like it was a novelty act, basically. But the guy can really sing. But you know, it's just like anything. Anybody that's foreigner looking in Japan, you're only going to go so far, because they have another Hafu, which is a half Japanese and African guy, and he was hot for a little bit, and then he kind of went away. It's more novelty. I do feel sorry for the Hafus that are here, because they can only go so far. Because then after a while, Japanese want actual Japanese. They want you to you're more of a subculture, or you're sub. Pretty much, you're in a subclass if you're a half. Like if you're what they call a half, like you're in a subclass. So you'd be better off just being a straight foreigner that can speak Japanese. And a lot of half fools started doing that. They get along better. Let's see. Good info. Pat Anderson says good info. Joe, damn, you don't fall in love with the city, but you fall in love with the people. This a chaotic storm. Let's see. 100. That's 100. Let's see. Mary Lou Ryan. I have started taking the picture right back when I see them. I guess she's talking about when people take pictures of her. I
Yeah.
also have box, so they look at my hair and touch it a lot, but they normally ask first. You know what? I noticed that in parts of Japan, when you go in the country areas where they're not used to seeing foreigners, it used to annoy me, but then I started thinking like, you know, they ask questions and they, you know what I'm saying, and it's more of interest. It's nothing, you know, and I guess we're so racially sensitive because we're expecting everybody to understand the incantations of racism because of being in the western side, westernized society, especially, you know what I'm saying, like being in America and stuff like that. I had to learn, like, and it took me years to learn this, to be more tolerant, you know, and not look at everything as like it's because I'm black. I look at more things of they're just interesting generally because there aren't that many black people that they run into. You know, because they do differentiate us from Africans. Like we're different.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so they know that. They know that and they understand that. And so we have to be more cognizant of that. Now, when there's racism, of course, you handle it however way you need to handle it, but not everything is a racism topic and stuff like that. And I do enough of sitting on panels, talking to people, and do live streams with think tanks of people back home with the racism stuff. So like I try to keep it off of this platform as much as possible, but we will answer the question. We will not shy away from questions. And if there's a question that's too personal, direct those at Joe, and then he'll, he'll answer the questions. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Hey guys, get if you guys have any more questions, then we'll close. Like if you we'll open the floor for like the next 5 minutes for some more questions, and then we'll get the topic at hand, and then we can interact with you guys. And I just want to know, like, just right now in the chat, do you guys like this time that we're actually coming on here and doing this? So we can have more interaction with you guys, because I know you guys got to work and stuff like that. So, and Joe, we do it off of Joe's schedule also. So,
yeah. So like I'm going to so I think other times that we might be able to do it if D is also okay. Let's see. Joe really offers you spaghetti because shut up, man. But no, like I think Friday might be okay.
Friday.
Yeah, Fridays might be okay. What else? Maybe Saturdays too. Maybe Fridays and Saturdays if I'm not doing anything. And D's not doing anything, that might be okay too. Okay, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are other days that I can possibly do it. So what's going to happen is I'm gonna talk to D, you know, like a privately, and then if we can decide that we can do it other days, we will put out a notice on Expat Creatives, and please on Facebook, please join Expat Creative. That's where you can reach me and D privately. And you can join, and also Expat Creatives is a place where also if you're a YouTuber or artist, you can put it on there, and we will all support it by liking it and sharing it, because we want anyone who is a creative in any way, who loves to travel or who loves to do art or whatever, or like animation, like whatever you do, we want to support it, because there's a lot of dope people who will almost never get the credit that they are deserved, because it's just too many. It's just too much out here, you know. So, so we want to give everyone a chance to get some credit, at least by some people, you know. So, but join us, and if you have any questions that you want to ask us privately, Expat Creatives on Facebook, please join that page, and you can reach us and we will always get back to you. So, yes, let's get
Okay.
yeah.
All right, you got let's see, can you see the Japanese work environment changing anytime soon because of the new legislation? All right, so let me explain something about the Japanese work environment. You know what I'm saying? I'll say it because I actually worked in white collar corporate, actually go to an office, punch a clock type deal. All right, so no, it's not going to change. That's just what we call, that's just saying that you're going to do stuff. But the problem is, it's not the work environment. The work environment actually works very well because they're taught this work environment ever from middle school up until, you know, from middle school to high school. They get a little break in college, and then, you know, they go right into it. It's the time off. It's the actual work part, not having enough time off to actually enjoy your life. You know, so that's the problem. It's not it's the long hours, it's the mandatory company after meetings. You know, basically the boss takes everybody out and you got to be there, and they go drinking, and then you got to be at work the next day, and you know, and then you're doing this unpaid overtime. So it's actually just time off. It's not really how should I say it? It's Japanese people are already conditioned not to be in the house for a certain amount of time. From the time that they leave, they're already expecting to be gone for about at least at a minimum of 14 hours out of the day outside of their house. So I don't think it's going to change really. The only thing they need to do is just maybe emphasize time off more. Give actually hold these companies accountable for the overworking and paying for compensation. Far as that. Let me see. 4 to 10 Pacific time would be cool. PM. Jeez, man. 4 to 10 Pacific time. That is crazy. That would mean, man, that's like 9 in the morning for us, man. Like
we were working at that time.
Dude, bro. Like I'm sorry, man. You might have to get
like I think that what anyway. So,
I'm like, you know, for you guys that's in the States, like an early stream for you guys, like, you know, I know because then y'all will be off in the evening, and then y'all could really, so like we would have to find a perfect happy medium or something like that. Right. But I don't think this really happened. I'm sorry, man. Like, we'll try to figure something out or whatever. Or what we'll do is maybe me and Joe will work something out, like maybe once a month. We'll invite one of you guys on the panel, and then have a hangout session with you guys, and have one of you in here while we're talking with you and stuff like that. If you're up to do that, and we can talk directly with you. Let's see who's next. Okay, so for the most part, people are all willing to help. Very little. Okay, experience. Okay, please join the group. Let's see what we got here.
Nate Hargreaves. Nate Hargreaves. Nate Hargreaves, what are your thoughts about the gaijin nod? And foreigners in Japan sometimes do, or that foreigners in Japan sometimes do, when they pass each other. I think that's kind of what we do in the States. Yeah, I think it's just a nod of just, you know, I recognize you're here, you recognize, you know, you can see me, and we cool. I mean, that's basically all I think it is. I haven't heard the gaijin nod before. This is the first, but I'm guessing it's just, you know, you see someone who's foreign, and if you don't see foreign people so much, you just see when you do the hey, what's up, like that. I guess I'm sure in Tokyo you see foreigners all the time.
Yeah,
the gaijin nod might work here in Okazaki, maybe. So, but in Tokyo, I mean, you know, maybe it exists. I'm not sure. You had any experience with that, B?
I guess it's the it's not the foreigner. It's not the gaijin nod. Like you get that in the country areas. Like if you see another, say foreigner, and you're in an area where it's not that many foreigners and stuff like that, like in the country areas. And I what I'm talking about, like you're talking about Aichi and like little towns like that. And then you see another foreigner give you the nod. But usually in Tokyo, it's usually the black dudes that do the head nod to each other. Like, what's up, man? What's up?
Yeah.
It's usually a black dude thing. Like when you're in a concentration of foreigners, like usually, usually other races don't really interact with other foreigners don't interact with each other because, they just got this. I don't know. It's that I can tell people in Japan by the time they're in Japan because I've been here so long. Like when I see a guy with a business suit and he's got all this energy and stuff, and I like, oh, he just got here. And then when I see that guy like on the train and he's like this tired and stuff, and look at it, he's got that defeated look. He's been here for 6 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when that guy's got that 100-yard stare, like this, just looking at like he's sitting there with his bag and he's just sitting there. He's been here for a year. And then that guy that kind of is like, they got that groove to him, but they like walking in between Japanese people like the Matrix, like they can slide in. Yeah, he's been here for a while. Like it's those stages of being in Japan because like the really happy guy is like, I live my dream of coming to Japan. I got all these like ideas, and then bam, reality hits you 6 months later. So don't between the new guy, the 6 months guy, and the 1 year guy, there's no head nods in the whole conversation of foreigners. It's usually after that, you know what I mean? Because the new guy is like, he still has those country tendencies of his own country. So you know how we are. I don't know you. I don't know you either. I ain't saying hi to you. No, I don't know you. Unless, you're in a drinking environment where they see another foreigner, they're drinking. They're like, hey, man, what's up? And you have a conversation like that. But that's usually what the head nod thing. If that helps your question out and stuff like that. If that helps your question out. Let me see. Beijing. Okay. Mary Lou Ryan says she'll be heading to Beijing in August. Hey, that's what's up. Okay, no problem. Anytime. We're about to close these questions out and get to the topic at hand. A friend doesn't have it checked now. Somebody was talking about blog post. Okay. Well,
yeah, about the blog post. If you have a blog post, post yours and we will support it. If it's a friend of yours, just ask your friend to join the group. It's cool.
We don't mind. Just invite them to the group, join the group. We're not, the only thing that we say is people that are going to travel and they want this information, or people that have traveled, or you know what I'm saying, and they live in other countries. That's what this is about. It's about helping them network so they can make an easier transition. All right, so let's see, friend. Doesn't have. Check it out. All right, Underrated Darkness, what is up? Salute to you, brother. What's going on? Salute to the nation. Thank you for coming in and supporting. Please hit that like button on the way. Please show your support for the channel, and thank you in advance. When it comes to dating in Japan, how important are parents and relationships compared to China? Hopefully you make it to that stage in the dating. You're skipping steps. You're skipping steps. Like, you're not going to meet the parents unless you've been with that person for like at least a minimum of like a year, maybe a year and a half. Like,
yeah, meeting the parents is pretty, top notch.
Yeah, you don't want to be missing. You don't want to be. Listen, I'm going to tell you like this, and I'm gonna just be straight up honest. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to. How should I say it like this? You don't want to be meeting the parents within 3 to 6 months that you are dealing with the woman in question, because the issue with that is you may be put in a shotgun marriage type of thing, bro. And and you gotta readjust your eyes to the age, because they eat in such a way that they're older, but they still look younger than what you're accustomed to. because they keep everything kind of natural and the way that they eat and stuff like that. So if you dating this girl and you meeting her parents within 6 months, yeah, she's trying to in a rush to get married because she's in that 28 and over club and she needs to be off the market. So you wanna kind of, I'm not trying to say just go out and destroy everything and rape, pillage, and plunder, but what I am saying is,
goddamn,
take your time, man. Just take your time. Man. Don't get wrapped up into one person. Enjoy your surroundings and the experience. Let that come naturally. Let that be organic. Don't like, this is the girl I met. And yeah, I'm gonna meet her first and I'm gonna get married.
Something real quick. When it comes to women and dating, the moment the guy starts truly falling in love and he puts that emotion out there, a lot of times the woman's gonna cut you off, because at the same time, like, women need a rock. You know, women need a guy who's a rock who to stand by. Like talking about the parents and getting, you know, possibly getting married, all that stuff. That's guys, slow down, slow down, man. Be able to take your time with it. Like, girls like guys who can give them space, and she might be wanting to get rushed, but at the end of the day, the relationship will never ever work if guys put too much emotion into it. Because like, women just don't like that. Women need that rock so that they can, you know, just know that they are protecting it and they can trust you, like, to stand tall when they need you. Like, you put that emotion, like, we want to get married and and let meet the parents. Like, damn. So, you know, relax.
Don't.
Like, yeah.
Relax that, man. Relax that. Okay. One last question. I have one last question. The people who wear those Black for Life t-shirts, are they a subculture or are they still considered mainstream? Is this China or is it?
I'm not. Is that recently?
I died, man. I have no idea.
Black for Life shirts. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get back to you on that, and we will cut. I will remember that. Ask that question again in our next video, our next live stream, so I can come back to that. So
one person just came in. We'll answer this last question right here. Tito District, hey, how you doing, guy? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Do you have any experience in media in Japan or in China? Sorry if you already answered this question. Okay, that's kind of what I do. Yes. Yeah, I'm like, I do. You can check my channel for you know, you can look at some blogs and stuff like that. But what you're asking the question, I do have experience. Joel has some experience. So what is your question pertaining to? You know what I'm saying? No problem, Pat. Hey, good evening to you. Have a good one. Oh, the Japanese kids who dress black. Oh, that's what Pat was actually.
Okay. Pat, good night or good morning, wherever you are. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. Thank you for supporting the channel. Love you, man. All right, yeah.
Yeah, we'll answer that. We'll answer that for the next show. We'll go into that. And you know what I'm saying, well, that's the next show. Don't push it, show it. Okay. All right. So yeah. In media, yes. Media in Japan is, I'm like, right now we're doing media. We're on YouTube talking to you guys. But like, I do film stuff. I'm in the entertainment industry and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what your question pertains to. Maybe you need to ask a more detailed question after that, a follow-up question. But we're going to get on to the task at hand and get into the subject, and then we'll come back once you send us a nice little detailed question, and then we can answer that more directly on our closing thoughts on the way out. Okay. Yeah. All right. So what is the subject for the day? And you guys can chime in the comment in the chat right here. We'll talk with you guys also. So what is the subject for the day?
Yeah. That's me?
Yeah. So like, it ain't my channel, it's your channel.
So basically,
me. Help me. All right, bro. Thank you, Underrated Darkness, bro. Thank you for the support, fam.
No, so I got like a lot of questions, a whole bunch of questions recently about a lot of guys who are graduating college soon and they are going to China, they're going to Japan, and they just wanted to get as much advice as possible. And my experience and your experience being in both countries, and like what should they expect, what should they prepare for, what do they need to get here, and all that stuff. So what I'll do is, I'll speak on the teaching aspects of how to get to these countries. And being a freelancer, you can speak on your experience on how you got here and anything that people can prepare for to get to where you are if they want to be where you're at.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, you can go first and then break it down, because I think the way to do it, the way I've done it, you would have to basically, yours is more feasible first, because you would have to have a job first. You can't just come over here and just do what I do. Right. So you would have to actually have a means of income, like in trying to save up money and then come over here and live off that money. That's like a fool's earn. Like you might can pull that like in Thailand or some other place, but you can't do that in Japan. So I would say this to you guys: if you're gonna do it the way that I did it, you're gonna have to basically get a job and then you would have to put in the extra hours and time. You would have to put in the extra hours and time, and that's what I did basically. From 2008, I was here since 2010, 2002, but I was in the military, so I don't count that time. Like I'm here, but I was here and I was getting paid, so I was good. So don't get it twisted. I was good, but I'm gonna count from 2008 because that's when I got out of the military, and then I came back to Japan, and that's where everything started basically. So I worked a job as a sales rep for the AU phone company from 2008 up until 2017. 2009 up until 2017. So basically, in that, I wanted to build my entertainment business. So I paid my bills, saved up my money, invested. I did parties, I did barbecues. I got into the business, made deals. It was a lot of no nights I'm getting no sleep because I'm going to the club, coming back, taking a shower, going to work. And I put in so much work to get where I'm at now, where I run my own business and do whatever I do. So that's basically that. So that's why I said you would want to go with Joel's options first, because that's more feasible, because where you're from, you do that. And then I'm more secondary. I'm more after you hit that wall, that 5-year wall. If you're going to still be here, you will hit a 5-year wall. And then I'll talk about that after Joel goes in and gives you the lay of the land.
Okay, cool. So I want to say, first of all, Daniel, love you, Dan. Me and Daniel Fry have been friends for about 3 years now. We met in China. So Dan, thank you. And Tito also. We'll get to the question later. So real quick, to get to China, what I did, I started off in university. After I graduated, I took a job at a summer camp and made about $2,000 for that summer. $1,000 was for the flight. 1,000 was for, what was it? 1,000 was for the flight, and 1,000 was for me just setting up in China. So, what happens is when you go to China, I went with a Eikaiwa style school, which is a private language center, actually one of the biggest in the world, actually. And I got there, and I was able to pay for my flight, and I had a job up front. What I did, there's a website called goldstarteachers.com. goldstarteachers.com is strictly for China. I think maybe for a couple other countries, but mainly China. Helps you get a job if you're not employed in China right now. What you need: TEFL certificate, a Z visa. Z is a working visa in China. In China, you need a working Z visa, which your school will mail you the documents for. You go to your local Chinese embassy. They do the paperwork, stamp. You're good to go. What else do you need? You need, of course, your passport, and I believe that is it. And you need your working permit, but your school will help you provide that. So apply. If you don't know anything about getting a job in China, I highly suggest you go to, what is it? goldstarteachers.com. I went with, I think, I don't want to say the company name, but they're a big company, and you'll probably see them once you go on the website because they're the biggest one there. Anyway. That's the good way to get there. And going to Japan. So what I did, and the thing about Japan that's different from every single other country, Japan has Gaijinpot, which is a place where you can apply for jobs. However, unlike China or Thailand or Malaysia or Korea, Japan is really looking for foreigners who are inside the country already. So if you are not inside the country, it is extremely hard for you to get a job for many reasons. A few are they want to be sure that they can see you. They want to be sure that they can see how you talk. You know, your voice, how you present yourself. If you are someone who can sit up straight, who slouches, or you know, like whatever, they want the best person for that job if they can get it. And also for Japan, surprisingly, you do not need a TEFL certificate. You can just come in on a bachelor's degree. Also, China, you need a bachelor's degree as well. Without a bachelor's degree, you are not teaching in any country in Asia. You might be able to get away with it, but it is illegal. What's it called? So in Japan, the way I got here lucky because I was in Thailand at the time. Just spent like 4 or 5 days straight just searching for jobs, and I found one in Okazaki, and that's why I've been here ever since. And I got put into an Eikawa First, which is a private school. If you want to come to Japan, don't be picky about your job. Take the first job that you can get. Usually, make sure it's okay though, and you know, just stick to it because all you need is your foot in the door and that first visa. Stay at that job for about 6 months at least, so that people can know that you're kind of serious about working. But I would highly suggest you go throughout the whole contract just to show yourself and Japan and the company that you can complete a contract. Because if you cannot complete a contract and people see this on your resume, of course you can lie on it, but I don't suggest you do that. Then people are going to be really iffy on whether they can trust you or not to complete their contract as well. So that's going to be it. That's how I got to China, and that's how I got to Japan. Another way you can get to Japan is actually flying to the country and setting up resume and setting up interviews with schools once you get here. That's probably the best way, but it is the most riskiest because one, Japan is expensive. You need money. Two, you may or may not be able to find a job. I would say if you go to all the local eikaiwas, you will most likely be able to. They don't pay the highest, but again, you can get your foot in the door, and that's really all you need. Because after your foot is in the door, unlike China, where your visa is attached to your school, your visa is attached to you in Japan. So you can like leave a job if you want to and change your visa later. In China, you cannot do that because your school is in charge of your visa. Your school is your sponsor. So with that being said, if you want to quit, then you kind of got to leave the country or get transferred within China if you're lucky, if your school allows you to do that. So be very careful with the job that you choose in either country because your life and your experience there will depend on that. And that's really all I have to say on those two areas of experience.
All right. Well, after you do all that, now you're going to say you're here after about 4 years, right? Yeah. And you notice you hit into a wall, right? And you're going to hit into a wall financially, and you're also going to hit into a wall in your, I guess, your career. And this wall is not like something you could break through. It's like ironclad because there's a break in how much money you can make in each, especially in working for a company. So The thing with this is you have to basically start to figure out what you're trying to do. And what I mean is what you're trying to do is what talents do you have? What industry that you have interest in? And I'm going to answer a couple of those in here while I'm talking. There are Brazilians or Peruvians, but you forgot Colombians also. There's a lot of Colombians that are in Japan also. Dominicans, Joe was out with a Dominican lady in one of his vlogs and stuff like that. But the non-Japanese, the non-English speaking or English teaching jobs, you have to have some type of form of tech ability. And what that means is usually in like internet security, IT work and stuff like that, but then you're competing against people from Singapore and China and Korea and India. So you're competing against those people and they want some type of conversational Japanese. There's very few businesses that you can work for in Japan without some type of conversational Japanese that you need to hold that. So that's why English teaching is pretty much, it makes up for 80 to 90 percentile of the work for foreigners that are coming over. They're trying to shift that over a little bit, but it's usually English teaching. Then you have factory work, and then you have the other categories. But it's getting better, but it's not moving as fast as it should. But it should after that. After the Olympics, it should be a better move as far as that. Now, hold on. It's very true. You'll hit the plateau. That's why I recently left China. Lack of professional development opportunity to stretch myself creating. And this is what I would basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I would basically tell you guys. You know what I'm saying? This is what I would basically tell you guys. When you come to a country, you cannot come to this country. You can't come to any country as an immigrant and try to live on their system of working in their companies and try to, how should I say it, retire like you would do in your own country. Like, so if you're from the States and you work in an industry, you could work for this company for so many years and get that retirement. Don't expect to do that if you come to Japan or China because the system is made for them. What they want you to do is not come over there to work in their system. What they want you to do is to come over there and basically become self-sufficient. That's why they allow to hire you for 5 years or 6 to 8 years, so you understand the lay of the country, and then you find your little niche in that country, and then you say, okay, bam, I got this niche. I'm going to build this type of industry where I'm used as a conduit outside of the country. You know, especially if you're in a country like Japan or China or in Asia where they're more export than import anyway. So, you know, you become a middleman within. If you're trying to go to a country where you can work long term and get a pension, you might want to be in Europe somewhere. Like, Asia is not for you, or Australia or New Zealand. Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore may be the only places in Asia where you may be able to pull that off. But Korea, Japan, China, even Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, and all those places, those even what they call quote unquote third world countries, you need to build a business to be there so you can be there long term, because you know they want to keep those businesses, they want to keep those opportunities open for their own people, and I don't blame them one bit, because you don't want immigration taking over all the jobs for your citizens, and that's a lot of things that that's a lot of stuff that we're getting into in the Western society that's being a problem. But that's just my take on it. But after your 3 to 5 year mark, if you're still here, you got to look for ways to basically get into your groove, because you're going to hit that wall real quick, and you're going to master time management. You're going to have, before you didn't have all that time on your hands, now you're going to have all that time, but then you're going to want more money, and you're going to want to be able to do things. And you're going to realize that I can't be getting paid this amount of money for the rest of my life and do good. There's no way of upward mobility. So how do I do that? oh, let me work a part-time job, or let me do this, let me do that. And then you start getting into other industries. And that's what most foreigners do when they're here, that live here for so long. They start working for themselves and building their own industry. So that's after that. And like Joe, he's in the midst of, with his businesses, is building his own businesses and clout. He's just still in the system for more connection base and to understand the hierarchy of everything else. Let's look at this. The opportunities for moving upwards, aka promotion, higher responsibilities, is difficult to do. That is correct. Let me see. I have a year contract with Interact. Whoo, feel sorry for you. I might need to look for another company before during my year contract. I'm also staying at an apartment that the company. Yeah. Interact. I would just say like this. When I took time off between the military and then when I came back to Japan, and the first company I went for to do a job was Interact, and English teaching job. So I just wanted to work this money, whatever. And the guy, it was a foreign guy. He did the interview, and he told me, I called like 2 weeks later and asked, hey, I didn't get any status. Did I get the job or not? And he said, let me call you back. He said, you didn't get the job. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, can you, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Can you give me some points? He said, no, you interviewed perfectly. Everything that you did was perfect. I was like, then why didn't I get the job? He said, you didn't get the job because you had a marriage visa. And I was like, what? Like, he said, yes, like you have a marriage visa. So it doesn't do the company any justice. And he made sure he walked out the office and he called me back, not on his company phone, but on his private phone. And he basically told me, he said, the reason, he said, this company goes after actual foreigners that don't have marriage visas because they can make money off of them by actually charging them, pulling it out of their paychecks for their visa, even though they pay for the visa already one time and it's done. So, Interact has been known for that, like Nova and all these other companies. That's the problem with teaching English in Japan, is that they have these contracts. In Japan, you can't keep a sole source contract for more than 5 years, and then you get another 5-year extension. And then that's why these companies shift. So everybody that's on Interact right now, the big Nova thing happened, like just recently?
The big Nova crash was a few years ago. Yeah, but pretty recent. Yeah.
2 years ago. So before that, Interact did the crash. So, I remember the Interact crash happened. The Interact crash happened in 2010. So a lot of my friends that was working for Interact for years, lost their jobs, right? And then Nova took over, but Nova only took the guys, the younger ones. That's a way of getting rid of seasoned English teachers. Get rid of them. That's why a lot of English teachers, if they're going to stay English teachers for a long time, they actually lock themselves into being freelance, direct with the school. They do they hit these private daycares that are outside the preview that don't have to deal with the border of education, and they work a deal with the school. They actually charge the parents directly, and they actually pay a rental fee to the school in the classroom, because these schools actually pay the company that you're at for you to be there, right? So that's the nuance that's the nuance that's around that. Then this is from friends that I know. This is from friends that I know that make about maybe 3.5 to about maybe 7 G's a month teaching English. And this is down in Tokyo because they have a connection into it. So that's why I said, teaching English in Japan, you're going to come to that point where you're going to have to open up your own English school if you want to do it long term. It's not a long term job opportunity, and pretty much nothing really is in Japan. Is not a long, unless you're working in the entertainment industry. That is the only way long term.
Yeah. I would say the only way you can be a long term English teacher in Japan is one, you work for a private high school, which is big money, and you're basically set for life. 2, you work for a really big English teaching company, not Interact, not Altia, not any of that. I'm talking about like a really big established company that has English as part of it, but not the main thing, you know. And if they can set you up like for life, and the way the way you know they can set you up is if 1, you've been here for a while, so that they can notice you. 2, when they ask you to do something for them, for like, you know, either like a free event or something that's like paid low, and you do a good job, and they want you, you're good to go. Which is a process that I'm actually working on right now. And 3, if you again have your own English school, that's it.
Yeah.
Right now I'm working on 2 of those, working for, not trying to get in contact with a big company, but they can actually set me up. And also having this place here, because my thing is, if I can get that place there and also keep this place here, smooth sailing. So that's one thing I'm really working hardcore on now. How do like Garden State Boss? Okay, Garden State Boss. Yeah, man, they be taking money, dude.
Hey, they be raping the pockets, man. How? Money, hold on, let's say, Mary. Yeah, you might want to answer her. Yeah, Mary Lou.
Yeah, how do ladies, and I guess what's your issues of dating people? I'll say this one since I'm dating now. And D, you can speak on this one. I guess with your experience. Dating is all about. I mean, here's the thing about dating in Japan versus dating in the States is there's some things that are a little bit different, but some things are very similar. And the thing that are very similar is that you got to realize, no matter what country you go to in the world, women don't want a weak guy, weak mentally or physically. Women, okay, well, you can be weak physically. You can be weak physically if you're really, really smart and have a lot of connections. So, but like women want a man who's strong, dude. Like, and when you go up to a woman, you got to go up to her with like straight confidence and telling her your intention straight up in a, you know, charming way. You just can't be like, hey, yo, I want to F. Like, you can't just be doing that. No, like be straight up in your intentions, you know, and let her know where you stand, because a woman is gonna know based on your approach to her within like the first 15 to 30 seconds how far she's gonna let you go. You know, so if your first impression is horrible, she has nothing to do with you. She might, you know, chill with you for a while just for the attention, but she ain't gonna try and mess with you though. You know, like women will not date any guy who is weaker than her. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, she's just not gonna do it. When you go up to women like Japanese, Chinese, Korean, American, whatever, like you need to come up like to them in an alpha male status, man. Like, you know what you're doing, and the best way to do that is, for one, to focus on your passion. I remember this one guy, his name is Phil Valentine. And he said that he's an old black dude who has a lot of knowledge, man. And one thing he said about dudes is that dudes must sacrifice love for power. And what he meant by that is kind of what I was saying before. You can't be too emotional in the whole love game. And what I mean by that is, guys today, especially like my generation now, we get so caught up in like, oh, I'm dating this girl now. She's so wonderful. I want her to be with me. Da, da, da. Girls don't like that. Girls don't like that. Like, give her space. Give her the time that she needs to be alone to miss you. You know, like, if you don't give her that time and you're always there, always available, she's not going to want to date you. I don't care what country she's from. She's not going to want to date you. You know, give her time to miss you. Give her, and when you do see her, make sure that you're on point with everything. You know, make sure that you're confident. Make sure that, example, when you're walking and there's a street, make sure that she walks on the opposite side of the street. That's one good piece of game right there. One, I guess another good piece is, I think when you talk to her, make sure that your voice is low and you speaking a bit slower than usual, like very slow and clear, and get your voice like as low as possible. It shows confidence. It shows that you're like still, because when your voice is like super high, I'm talking fast now because we're just having fun, but like, you know, when you're with her and you're with her alone, make sure that your voice tone, your body posture is there, very masculine, very, very masculine. Women like that, you know. So there's a whole bunch of game stuff, but like,
so hold
yeah.
on, let me see. What is Garden State Boss not really looking for a wifey, MGTOW, oh, men going their own way. I understand that, brother. I get that. I would say like this. What Joe's saying is correct. Now from my experience, listen, I'm just gonna tell you, I'm going to give a disclaimer. And please excuse my French. I ain't shit. I wasn't trying to be shit, and I didn't give a fuck. Like, I'm just gonna say it like this.
There you go. You like that.
I was a savage. I was rape, pillaging, and plundering. If there was no smashing happening, I did not waste my time. It was a bad night.
Oh, the
only thing.
Wait. Before you keep going, let me just focus on that time thing real quick.
Yeah.
That thing is super important for guys and girls too. But for guys, like a guy's point of view, do never ever waste your time with someone, whether a girl or guy. Never waste your time with someone who is not willing to get back what you have given them.
Exactly.
Never ever do that. For example, and this may sound kind of savage to some of you, but this one works. This one works. Example: when I'm out with a girl. Because the dating thing doesn't happen unless the guy starts it. Let's get that straight. Girls are not going to ask you out because girls hate being rejected. You know, so and there's a chance that she will get rejected if she asks you out, and girls hate that more. Like guys, you think that you hate rejection? No, girls hate that a million times more. Anyway, like when you ask her out, take her out on the date, give her a good time. My thing is this: the moment she starts doing this and she's not paying attention, or she's not at least trying to engage in it, or the moment she takes out her phone, you leave. If it's not an important call that she truly needs and she's just trying to text her friend while you're talking, that's truly disrespectful. You do not deserve that. What I'll do is this. This is not kind of sound, but I'll pull the girl move. This is what I'll do, and I've done this like back in China one time, man. This girl took out her phone, man, and started texting her friends while I'm talking. I told her I'm gonna use the bathroom and I'll be right back. Never came back. Bill's on her. You do not disrespect me by me like my time to me is more precious than what it costs for your dinner. That's my and that might sound savage, but man, like dudes, like you gotta go back into your masculine side, man. That's what this whole MGTOW thing is about. Now, MGTOW, I think, is something that guys need now because right now, the guys, I think, are way too sensitive, especially in my generation, man. Girls don't like that. Girls might like it, because, you're soft and da-da-da. Girls don't want to be with a man like that, dude.
No, they don't.
They don't. Like, no, the whole politically correct thing, where you're super nice and, support everything is cool. But at the end of the day, who gets the most girls? Look at society. Who gets the most women? The guys who own stuff, the guys who are doing their own thing, the guys who own businesses, the guys who are on motorcycles, the guys who have their own thing going on, whether it's a hobby or a job or a business or whatever, they have their own thing going on, and girls are attracted to that, to that because girls want to get what they can't have.
Exactly.
That's what it is, and that's what guys have lost, man. You got to get that back. There's too many sensitive dudes out here, man. That's why 20% of the guys get with all the women.
Exactly.
It goes back to nature. It all goes back to bump society, all these social rules. It all goes back to nature. Women want to procreate with the the best guy possible. It's always been that way, and it will always be that way. Before the whole marriage thing came into play, and after the whatever society says, biology rules over all.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's why once you realize that, you realize how to act. So never let any woman treat you disrespectfully. Let her know you will leave her. Be able to mentally leave a woman at any moment. Cut her off at any moment if need be.
Yeah. And that right there is, like I said before, like you guys, like, I'm explaining something to you guys, and I'm gonna just give you some. I'm gonna drop you some reality on this, right? When you come over here, please, please observe the Asian culture. Do not westernized philosophy. This is a patriarchy. This is an authoritarian place. All right. That means men run shit.
Yes.
Like
yes.
sensitive ass, feminist ass, fucking Me Too movement ass shit. Leave that shit back in the States. Right? You be respectful at the same time, but this is like the 50s. This is like you go out, you go hunting, and you bring back dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't be a creep. You don't be out there just grabbing chicks and smacking them over the head, dragging them back in the cave by the hair and stuff. We don't do that, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you go out there, when you come out here, when you deal with women, because they will ask you if they're interested, what do you like to do? Do not reply with whatever you like to do. No, that is
don't ever say that.
That is the wrong answer, because you're relinquishing your control of the relationship, and you're deprogramming something that's been programmed way past your Western civilization has been made into what it is today. What you need to say is, how are you doing? And if she likes you, she'll say, what do you like to do? I would like to check out this place. What is the best place to eat this or to do that? What do you suggest is the best place of me doing this? So that way she will go in her phone. She will like, oh, this place is good. You put a battery in her back and you slap her on the ass and she makes you a sandwich. That's basically what you're doing. You're giving her something to do. Women that has to think without any direction, they are dangerous creatures. And that is what is happening in Western society. Do not deprogram. You did not come over here for an Asian version of a westernized female. Leave that shit over there. If you're going to, do not deprogram what you're getting. Do not. I will say it again in big ass letters. Do not do that shit. Okay? All right, cool. We got that. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? I hope that answers your question. All right. So, anti-gravity. I'm going to sign up for a 3-month program to learn Japanese. Is it better to go to Kyoto, Okinawa, Tokyo, or Nagano, or better immersion? This is Joe. I'm going to tell you like this. Don't go to Okinawa, because that's like America.
Yep.
All right, there's nothing but military bases. Tokyo is more, if you really want to learn Japanese, it's best to be in the country areas. Nagano is too damn cold. You're gonna be running up a wall. So Osaka and Nagoya, I would say, are probably the best places. The problem is you might want to be in Nagoya more than Osaka, because the Osaka dialect is kind of looked down upon.
Yeah.
Outside of Osaka, because they have this weird way of speaking, and it's kind of looked down upon. The way they talk is not polite at all. They talk kind of rough, and it's not proper. You know what I mean? That's Japanese people that are from Osaka. They always look at jokes, and they always think people from Osaka are funny and jokey because the top comedians come from there, but it's the way that they talk. They kind of look like country hicks, kind of, basically. You know what I'm saying? But if you kind of like, you can go south, you can go down like to Nagasaki and Fukuoka and stuff like that. But I would say Osaka, Kyoto, Nagoya, that area is pretty cool. And that way you're not too far away from something that's metropolitan at the same time, but it's far enough. You want to kind of stay out of Tokyo, because you're not going to learn Japanese as well as you think you are, because you're not going to be able to do it unless you put an extra effort where you'll be immersed in the culture. I hope that answers the question for me. But Joe, go ahead and
perfect. I mean, we're like whatever. Yeah, just countryside is best.
Yeah, cause I like, I wish I would have went to countryside. And make sure you learn Japanese from old men. Men. Do not learn Japanese from women. Do not learn Japanese from women. I will say it again. Do not learn Japanese from women. Learn it from older men that are older than you. So that way you'll have authority when you're speaking. People will respect you more. Do not learn Japanese from women. Say it again. Do not learn Japanese from women. Don't do it. It's a problem. All right. It's a problem. Don't do it. You're going to sound like a girl. You're going to get mad why nobody takes you seriously. And then no one's going to actually tell you unless you talk to an older Japanese person, like an old man, and he's going to pretty much tell you. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because the same thing happened to me with my father, my uncle-in-law. And I was talking to him, and he said, "You sound like a damn female." Because when you get in the country, they're very direct. And he's like, "You sound like a damn female. It's better that you don't learn Japanese at all if you're not going to learn it from a man, because you sound like a damn female." He actually used other words, but we're trying to keep this as open as possible, and we don't want to, we don't want to offend anybody in different type of communities. So I'm not going to use the exact language that he used, but you probably get the gist of it. So yeah, Japanese is masculine and feminine.
My Japanese teacher, she is female, but like she will tell me real quick because she's like old school female, where it's like, hates girly men, like because her husband does like MMA and stuff, so she hates girly men. Like she'll tell me like, "Oh, like say it with this tone, because if you say it with this tone, I don't like it." But
I'm just saying, man. Like, yeah, y'all need.
I completely get it. I mean, like when we're raised from birth, like everything we do as guys is from another man.
Yeah.
Everything we do, every single thing that we do. So, and I completely get it. Now, some people might disagree with saying like, "I'm making the same thing." True. The same thing. But my thing is that, for example, when a son talks to his mother, it's going to be way, way different than when he talks to his father. Way different. And I say that because a mother can say one thing and the son might be like, "Okay." The father says that same thing in that tone of voice, click, something in here hits. So and it's just that tone of voice, it's that masculine energy, it's that masculine spirit that hits us because it's a subconscious thing that we can both understand. So and that's just it. So because when guys talk to each other, there's zero emotion in it. There's no emotion. I was having a conversation with my mother today about like the differences between guys and girls, and how like a lot of times guys don't know how to work around women, because as guys, when we talk, we always know that if there's an argument, there's a chance that there could be a fist fight if the argument gets too fierce. That's why when men talk, we're very careful with our words because no man wants to fight, But when it comes to like an argument with a woman, we have to be super careful because at the end of the day, we can't hit a woman. So we have to be super careful. Plus, the idea of harassment comes into play because a lot of women now, there have been a lot of cases where there has been harassment when guys are being like way too forceful in their speaking, and guys, we're not trying to be harassing. We're just, that's how we are, So. And when we have that harassment thing into play, it makes us kind of fearful to speak because we don't want to get in trouble. It's not that we don't want to talk; we just don't want to get in trouble. So,
I'm gonna say something about this real quick. It might not go over well with certain people or whatever, and I don't, what I mean. Like, listen, I feel for you. I feel for a lot of you guys that are in the States, and I feel for the females too, because now they're in a weird position also.
Right.
And the position is that the lines the goalposts have been set so far in one direction. Now, you know what I mean? And it's like any female that's having a bad day. And I'm being real honest here. Every chick that says she's like, most of the chicks that say they've been harassed, they look like, why are you harassing her? She doesn't look worthy of being harassed. I'm just saying. I see that. And it's more like Like, and you know, it's very few. If you take the 10 chicks that claim harassment and they claim harassment, out of those 10 females that claim harassment, maybe 2 of them look enough where you say, okay, yeah, that dude probably harassed her, because I might have, if it was me, I might have said something out the way because she looks attractive. But the rest of them, they look like, you know, they look like what's old girl that was on Married with Children? Marcy. Yeah, they look like Marcy off of Married with Children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I super feminist, and it's more along the lines of it's like that weird feeling, you know, of I can't like okay, I'm not going, like, now they're getting angry that male supervisors are telling the female workers that if they come in their office for a conference, they got to keep the door open.
Yeah, it's weird.
Now they're gonna get mad at the male supervisor for doing it. The male supervisor is like, I'm not trying to tell you, you're not going to go and say I harassed you some miraculous way. And then what they're doing now is they're not even like people are not even hiring females no more. Like they're cutting down on
that news story like now. And I feel sorry for the women who are not doing this, because it is hurting you guys. The women who actually want a good guy, who are actually fully in your feminine, like I know it's hurting you guys, because a lot of my friends back home, they're saying like how they can't find a dude because dudes are just too scared to date them, you know? Like
or
something. And it's that because a lot of the girls that I'm talking to back home, they're having harder times at work because, you know, it just feels awkward now. It feels awkward because now the guys are too scared that they're going to get fired if they say the wrong thing. They can't be like, men can't be men and women can't be women anymore because the lines are too blurred now. You know, so it's like,
yeah, and that's what's
because we're in the past where a man with like 2 business dudes go head to head, you know, cussing, fighting, you know, all this stuff. Business still gets done, you know however it gets done. When there's a woman involved, yes, now if like in the past it was always cool. Nowadays it's like, okay, now we have to be very careful with our words because we don't want to, you know, offend anyone, and we don't want to, you know, have anything claimed as harassment toward us. You know, so it's like that's how and the workplace has gotten very awkward for both sexes. It's gotten very awkward. And that's one reason why I kind of like being in Japan to an extent, because it doesn't happen like that here. Because as you said, men rule over all here. And a lot of my female friends, when they come here, they can feel it hardcore. That's why a lot of women that I know, they end up leaving, going back to the States, because it is like that. You know,
yeah, they ain't got no rights. They ain't got no rights. They ain't got no rights.
As dudes, what you need to remember is that don't let that get to your head either.
No, because you ain't got no rights either.
At the end of the day, you are a foreigner, so like it's the Japanese male that has the head. You don't have anything. Like that's it. Because at the end of the day, you are a second tier person. Like that's it. The Japanese woman has more over than you because you are not Japanese. You know, so. But yeah, that's kind of like the way it is, and you hear these stories about like business owners who are men, they're not hiring women not because they don't want to, but that just because they're scared or they're scared for their male employees. Or you know, you have guys opening doors at business meetings just to make sure that everybody has a clear view of what's going on, so that there's no false claim of anything. And that's kind of like what's going, and that's what's happening, and it's messed up because like right now, and to an extent, like at the end of the day, like you have all these things going on, and guys don't know how to process it. We literally don't know how to process a lot of what's going on because we've never been exposed to it like this. You know, so like for example, from the time we're born as dudes, we're raised by our fathers and just society itself. You grow up. You work hard. You compete for the soccer team. You compete for the football team. You compete. And because we're only competing against guys, we don't know how to compete against a woman. We don't know. It's as simple as that. It's not that we don't want to, it's we don't know. Because at the end of the day, we're always taught you treat a woman with with respect. You open the door. You know, you treat her as a princess. You treat her as a queen. All of a sudden, we have to compete with you.
Well, we'll see. Well, like, and that's what I'm saying. We can get into that,
Yeah.
but we'll cut that off for another day because we could go on a rant about that.
But I'll cut off just like this though to keep it simple. I would just say right now all the things are messed up is just because like we're going into a position that we have never really been in before, before as a society.
Exactly.
And that's really what's going on. And like I think people's emotions and personal opinions are going to get pushed in as well. And that's what's really messing everyone up because like there's more emotion going to it instead of discussion. So and I feel like we took time to understand each other as both males and females, and we got to learn actually how we think as males and females. We would be able to understand each other better on why we think and do certain things in certain ways. So instead of saying this is unfair, this is me, this is you, no, let's explain, let's get to the biology of it and see why women think what they do, why they think when they think, and why men do the same thing. And then we can discuss how we can even things out by our own biology instead of just how society says. Because society is just all opinion, honestly. What society thinks we should do is strictly opinion, not biology. So I think that's what we should end up doing.
All right. So Jose asked a question, and this is more to you, Joe. What are some official companies I should look to apply during my first year in Japan to have something set for my next year?
Okay, big company is Altia, A-L-T-I-A. Altia is an ALT company. It is an ALT job. You will be traveling to a few schools, but it is a decent school. They have good training. They have good people there. Altia, I think, is based in Nagoya, so I think they're based in many of the big cities, but I think one of the main headquarters is in Nagoya. A-L-T-I-A. Look at Altia. A second one is what is it? Altia. You have one that's up and coming. It's called APS, which is Asia Plant Service. Look that up. They're also based in Nagoya. Look them up too. The guys there, I know them personally. They are all very good, and they will have your back in any situation. Get with that. Those are the only two ones that I would actually trust as a big time company. Like Nova, Interact, all these other guys, I don't trust them. They've had a really bad, track record, so I don't really trust those guys. And I don't want anyone else to have really bad experience teaching anymore because there's too many of those stories. So I guess ECC would be a good one. ECC, I heard some good things about them. Aeon, A-E-O-N, I've heard some mixed stories about them. So my top three would be ECC, Altia, and APS. Check those out, and I think you should be good.
Yeah, group. All right, so guys, you know what I'm saying, please like the stream. Appreciate, you know what I'm saying, please like the stream.
All right, Daniel, see you later, man. Thanks for joining, dude.
Who's that? Daniel, Mom, and you hit the sack. Oh, it's time. Okay, cool, man. Thanks for coming through, man. Thank you for the support once again. Can't wait to see that new one. That new yeah, your new video and stuff like that. Yeah, guys, you know what I'm saying? So now we're about to get into the closing moments of this. If you got any questions, please ask them really quickly.
Okay. All right, D, I will see you later, man. Let's see. I guess to start closing it off, I want to say thank you guys for joining again. This is actually really fun. Please share this live stream whenever you get the chance. Please show it to your friends. Please talk about us. We want to get more people on this because we want to have some really nice conversations with both guys and girls about every single topic. You know, whether it's social, whether it's teaching, whether it's living, whether it's traveling, whatever. So, and And yeah, in a respectful way, of course. But this was awesome. This was, you know, our second one, and we're hopefully going to be able to do this more often. If we can do it during the week, we indeed will put out a post on the Expat Creatives group on Facebook. Please join that group for all updates. And yes, because I think Expat Creative will be me and D's headquarter from now on, so we can both like have that, you know, flow going there together. We both have our own separate channels, and please check out DeAndre's channel too. Black in Japan. Please check out his channel. Please check out mine, all the videos. And yeah, D, you know, take it.
Yo, yeah, yo, join the yo, I'm saying, yo, thanks, yo, CJ, good looking, yo, thanks for the stream. Looking at the stream, homie. Big, yo, so I'm gonna hit you up a little bit later. I don't know if you on the move. Yo, just if you on the move, just hit me with a 1. And if you're not on the move, hit a 2. So then I'll hit you up later. Yeah, man. Hey, no problem. Thank you, Garden State boss. You know what I'm saying? MGTOW, you know what I'm saying? Go your way. You know what I'm saying? Forever. Cosmic Vortex, thanks for adding this on Facebook. Yeah, just hey, join the group. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, guys, if you got any questions that you couldn't think of right now while we're doing the stream, do not hesitate to join the group and then put the question in the group. Just make sure when you put the question in the group, say, hey, can you answer, this is a question for the stream. You know what I'm saying, for you for the live stream. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thanks, Nate Hargraves. Yeah, everybody just join the group. You know, we trying to make a community. So anything that you want, because if you ask that question, and we might, because we want to hit on all topics, we don't want to be stuck on one question for too long. So if there's a really detailed question, join the group, ask it in the group. That way we can put some research and give you some links and stuff so you can refer back to it. Right. You know, so but yeah, like you know, they go to Joel's channel, go to my channel, and you know what I'm saying, and have, you know, your travels and realize, you know, the world is 75% water, 25% land. You know, you can go anywhere that you choose to be and enjoy yourself. And this is not just about Japan. I've been to Europe, I've been to other places. So this is, it's not, we just have to be in Japan, but it's about everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So traveling outside of your native country, even if you're from another country and you say you go to the States, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're still an expat. You're not in your own country that you were born in. So that's it for me. You know, we try to wrap this up. The stream went pretty good. We started at 8:30, you know, 2-hour stream. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Please like the stream. Thank you for your support. And I'm good.
I'm about to make me a banana strawberry smoothie and some soba noodles. I'm hungry.
Hey, man. Hey, it's hot in these streets, man. It's hot in these streets.
Me. All right, man. So we are out. And guys, again, thank you so much. Your support means so much. I think my channel has grown by 10 subscribers in the past week. So thank you guys so much. Everyone counts. Please share, like, subscribe, please. And we will see you next Monday. If we do anything during the week, we will let you know. But always on Monday, that will be a given. I will be going to India August 3rd to August 14th. So I'm gonna stick with D and try to, hopefully we can still get this podcast going during that time. And yeah. So as long as the internet over there is okay during in the hotel, but I got a lot of plans. I'm getting my music together for these vlogs. Man, I'm so excited. So, yeah, but that's it. And I will talk. We will talk to you guys later. And yes, that's it, man. So with that being said, for me, peace.
All right, peace.